review of this constitution, part of Rivers State into whatever formation or state without the consent of the representatives or stakeholders of Rivers State. It is the State Assembly and other stakeholders that have the power.
Also, the convener of Ogoni Drive, Solomon Lenu, who was at the South-South Constitutional Review meeting, said Rivers State did not present any official position paper.
At the hearing, you will see how political stakeholders across different states are united on purpose, pushing forward agendas, issues that affect them and their people. But that of Rivers State was a complete no-show. And then you begin to wonder, has Rivers State suddenly become the El Dorado that we have always anticipated that at? But unfortunately, Rivers State was absent. And this begins to tell us the damage that has been done to us today by virtue of the state of emergency that is declared here.
Leno said he is disappointed in the political leaders of Rivers State. He blamed them for the continued political crisis in the state.
As we speak today, for some good number of years now, Rivers State has been systematically isolated and removed from the scheme of things, ever programs that the federal government is doing. These are issues that our politicians could have synergized together and put forward like other states did to appeal to our leaders. It is not late for them to come together. Census are begin to look at the areas where they have gotten it wrong, because on the path and trajectory that we are following currently, give it a little time. Everything that made us Rivers State will erode away.
In another development, a federal high court in Abuja has scheduled a ruling for July 18 on a motion seeking to restrain the National Assembly from further engaging in any legislative activities, including approving appointment or budget of the Rivers State government under the current sole administrator. Justice James Omotosho chose the date on Wednesday after taking argument in relation to the motion for interlocutory injunction filed by the plaintiffs. The suit was instituted by some indigents of Rivers State and a group, the Registered Trustees of Hope Africa Foundation. Other plaintiffs are King Oziwe Amber, Julius Bolus, George Ikeme, Amachelu Oro, and Prince Odioha Wimbe. Now listed as defendants in the suit are the National Assembly and the Clerk of the National Assembly. Arguing the motion yesterday, plaintiff's lawyer Ambrose Owuru prayed the court to grant restraining order to the defendants from further acting on any request from the emergency government in Rivers State pending the determination of the substantive suit challenging the legality of the state of emergency declared in the state by President Bola Tinubu. Owuru said the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State is without the required legislative approval because the voice votes adopted by the National Assembly in approving the emergency rule were unconstitutional. Moving on now, the chairman of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, in the state, Mr. Christian Kendrick, says the African Democratic Congress, ADC, opposition coalition may not last because almost all the parties in the coalition are embroiled in eternal crisis. Kendrick said this in an interview with our correspondent in reaction to recent comments by the APC and ADC boasting they can win the 2027 general elections in Rivers State.
First of all, ADP, Action Democratic Party, is the only party that is not divided in Rivers State, that does not have faction. The ADC, other parties, like you call them, that are collating, they're already having division between themselves. A house that is divided within itself cannot stand. Rivers people are not moved. Nigerians, forget what you see online, they are not moved. They're waiting for them to be united first. As we speak, the ADC or whatever party, they are not united. They are divided because of several interests. First of all, they have to build their house first, and it's a big hurdle for them to cross.
Kendrick said his party may be the only one strong enough to stand by 2027. Now, he said other parties have factions that do not serve the interest of Rivers people.
The APC chairman, is he done contending with Chief Emeka Beke? When he's done, he should talk to Rivers. They have their internal fights first. They should secure the victory before they think of coming to the ballot box. Don't be surprised. The ADP will be the only party in the ballot box because there cannot be two factions in every party, and you expect INEC to list you. INEC is watching them with dismay. Rivers people, they should prepare themselves and they should not be deceived. We've been cowed for too long. The reason why we have double factions in all these political parties is interest, and none of this interest is Rivers people.
Also speaking, the chairman of the Zenith Labour Party in the state, Ben Obobola, said the people of Rivers State should prepare to vote out the current political class He blamed them for slowing down progress in the state.
The same person, this time, the people should think the candidate that we have, select the candidate that are credible, because me, I know I'm going to present a candidate that is a credible candidate in Rivers State, that I have never gotten a stain. So Rivers State 2027 should look at the pedigree of candidates that come from different political parties. That Rivers State people, this 2027, they must make a good choice. Whether INEC like it or not, people will vote and their vote must count this time around.
Reacting to claims by the APC that they will defeat the coalition, Mr. Wabula said it is too early to predict what will happen.
As IPAC secretary in Rivers State, everybody must work in modalities for them to win election. But at this point, I will not be able to say what will happen. People may predict one or two things, but what they are doing is a way to take power from the Tinubu administration. But I want to say they should strengthen up. If they want to take power, it's not by merely talking. It must put some mechanism in place, in motion, to ensure that their plans work as achieved. In my party, we are not in coalition.
Staying with politics, the chairman of the Because of Our Tomorrow Boot Party, Abednego Benjamin, has called on political leaders in Rivers State to be more cautious in their public statement. Benjamin said this in a statement urging party leaders to prioritize respectful and constructive dialogue over divisive rhetoric. He emphasized the need for politicians to promote their party's vision, engage in issue-based debate, and encourage civic participation. He also cautioned against inflammatory language, personal attacks, and behavior that could erode public trust. Benjamin stressed that fostering a culture of respectful discourse is essential for a peaceful electoral process and the strengthening of democratic values. He said by choosing unity and responsibility in their words, political leaders can help shape a more hopeful and stable future for Rivers State. Coming up next, federal government response to new U.S. visa restrictions. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. A community leader in Akinima, Ahoda West local government area of Rivers State, Mr. Enyata Abieba, says it is unfair for the Rivers State government to ask people living in flood-prone areas to relocate. The state government had in a statement amid the heavy rains advised residents in flood-prone communities to move to safer areas and follow environmental guidelines. But in an interview with our correspondent, Onyeka Chinwosu, Abieba said the people of Akinima have been left to fend for themselves as the government has not made any plans to help them relocate to safer places.
Are there provisions to enhance the welfare of the people during floods? Why should government be interested in advising or warning the inhabitants of this area to evacuate? And who would evacuate? Where are they going to evacuate to? How do they do the movement? You know about the cost of transport today. How about their security? Where are the locations? The people are no longer interested in what government is talking about evacuation. So why should they always be interested in warning people about floods? It is not fair at all. The people are not children. And this environment that has a lot of wealth supporting the federal government, the nation, with huge wealth, yet no landmark projects.
Abieba also reacted to the announcement by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, that it will visit some flood-prone communities for public sensitization. He said no NEMA officials has visited Akinima so far.
There is none of such. I am a community leader. My wife is the woman leader of Akinima. So when you talk about visit, where do they visit? They are supposed to have connection with the community. So we don't know about their visits. Every time I am at home, every time I'm involved in a lot of activities, my wife is also involved in a lot of activities. So there's no place I don't know in my community. There's no place I don't even know in Ngene. And every time we communicate with each other, where have they gone? What have they done? So it is a kind of white elephant program.
The community leader added that the community has been experiencing continuous rainfall for about 7 days and many residents are living in fear. He also explained that farmers in Akinima were forced to harvest their crops early. As a result, there is now too much food in the market, causing prices to drop.
The rains are devastating the rural economy. It has brought about flash floods, and these flash floods are in rugged farmlands, and people are now engaging in panic harvesting. And some who did not know that such a thing had happened to their farms have even lost their farms. And like in the market now, those of that were like 13,000 naira, it's now about 9,000 naira. And even now, the real flood is yet to come. The flood is supposed to come by the end of August, but now this heavy downpour that has lasted over a week has devastated, the farmlands, and the people are living in panic, afraid of what the future will look like.
As you may know, Akinima is one of the many flood-prone communities in Ahuda West. It is part of the Orashi region, which includes 3 other local government areas and hosts several oil wells. In the first quarter of 2024, Rivers State received over 708.59 million naira from the Ecological Fund, money meant to address issues like flooding, erosion, oil spills, and drought. The Ecological Fund comes from 2% of the Federation account. Now, the administrator of Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, Mr. Christian Jobao, has visited Community Secondary School, Omagwa, as part of his administration's commitment to promote quality and affordable education. The visit followed the recent installation of 40 desktop computers, printers, and multimedia projector, internet facilities, and a solar-powered plant donated through the Digital Nigeria Center computerization project under the Universal Service Provision Fund. Speaking during the visit, Njobanwo advised the students to stay away from cultism and other social vices. He also revealed plans to appeal to the state government to fence the school for improved security.
You must eschew yourself from cultism. Don't join cult to not pay you. Anybody coming in here, wanting you to become a cult member, that person is a devil. He doesn't want your future. We'll plead with the state government to fence this school. Because academic environment should also be serene, supposed to be devoid of attractions or distractions that will make the student not to pay attention.
The Ikwere local government area legal advisor Bosorochi Nwobodo and the Eze Okrika of Omagwa Godspower at Benuchi also spoke.
Let me start by thanking the school entirely for this opportunity. In our days, we didn't see this. Government did something else. Came here to see for ourselves the computers that were brought to the school. Is a good thing, and that is happening in their time.
During our own time, we did a lot of things in this community. Ask everybody here. And what do you think that you people can do to help us? And what we have to do here is to protect ourselves.
Correspondent Makotoka reports that earlier the school principal, Mr. Odim Augustine, expressed gratitude for the gesture and pledged to ensure the facilities are well protected.
I thank you so much. I know it's the privilege given to me to oversee Community Secondary School Omagwa. Today, we are all happy because actually you came loaded. We are very happy that whatever that they are giving to us in this college, so far as we are concerned, the school management, we will try our best to sustain it. We have 40 sets of computers on ground. We have the sensors, we have the solar panel, projector. We also have the inverters and so many other things. All have been installed. Ready. You can see all we are giving to us.
An educationist, Dr. Ben Nyewisira, says performance in the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME should not be used as the sole measure of a student's academic ability. Yewusira, who is also a lecturer in the Department of Educational Foundations at the University of Port Harcourt, stated this in an interview with correspondent Emeko Tokawa, reacting to the recent cutoff marks released by JAMB for admission into tertiary institutions across the country. He said technical glitches experienced by many candidates during the last UTME may have contributed to this year's low cutoff marks.
There could be an interplay of factors that would have led to JAMB arriving at this cutoff. I do know clearly that it has to do with what actually transpired in this year's examination, the conduct. And like you and I know that it was awash in the media to the extent that the man at the hands of affairs in JAMB had to come apologizing over the glitches that took place while conducting that exam. So it may have been a contributing factor to the low performance, as it were, of what happened this year.
Dr. Yewusira also noted that there have been several cases where students with low UTME scores end up performing better at the university than those who scored higher.
Don't equally forget that there may be those who at this point of entry now would have done perfectly well. When they come into the system, distractions will set in, and at the end of the day, you see some of them failing out because of distraction. So at this point of entry, much as we are careful to make sure that we select the right persons to come into the system, but it doesn't end there. It's not a means to an end, as it were. For 4 years or 5 years, you will always have the opportunity to either improve yourself, or on the other hand, if you don't improve yourself, then the system will at the end of the day tell you that you are not qualified to be in this, to earn a degree, and then they will show you the way out.
In other news, the Senate has mandated a joint committee to investigate the alarming rise of Ponzi schemes across the country following the collapse of the crypto bullion exchange CBEX, which has reportedly defrauded investors of over 1.3 trillion naira. The decision followed a motion by Senator Adetokunbo Abiru. In a motion, the lawmaker expressed deep concern over the unchecked spread of fraudulent investment schemes, including the infamous MMM Nigeria in 2016, MBA Forex in 2020, and most recently CBEX, which lured millions of Nigerians with promises of high returns on digital assets. Now, the federal government has expressed concern over the recent decision by the United States to impose tighter visa restrictions on Nigerian citizens, describing the move as disproportionate, calling for reconsideration in the spirit of mutual respect and cooperation. This comes just as the United Arab Emirates imposed tougher entry conditions for Nigerian travelers, banning transit visa applications entirely. According to new directives from Dubai Immigration, Nigerians aged 18 to 45 will no longer be eligible for tourist visas unless accompanied, while those aged 45 and above must provide a 6-month personal bank statement showing at least $10,000 monthly balance before they are granted visas. On Wednesday, the British High Commission in Abuja also announced a change to the United Kingdom's immigration process for Nigerians applying for study and work visas. On the international scene, the Trump administration is imposing sanctions on the UN Human Rights Council Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese, an outspoken critic of Israel's military offensive in Gaza. Secretary of State Marco Rubio linked the move to her support for the International Criminal Court (ICC), some of whose judges have already been sanctioned by the U.S. Rubio said the U.S. was sanctioning Albanese for directly engaging with the ICC in its effort to prosecute American or Israeli nationals, accusing her of being unfit for service as a UN Special Rapporteur. The sanctions are likely to prevent Albanese from traveling to the U.S. and would block any assets she has in the country. Now, on the news this morning, you heard stakeholders are reacting to Rivers State's absence at the Constitution Review hearing over the weekend. Court has set July 18 to rule on motion challenging Rivers emergency rule. Criticisms trails Rivers State government's flood advisory. The Senate has launched an investigation into Ponzi schemes. Federal government is asking the U.S. to reconsider its new visa restrictions. And on the foreign scene, you heard the U.S. has sanctioned a UN expert who is a critic of Israel's Gaza offensive. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele. Many thanks for listening.